Hello everyone, welcome back. This is your daily tarot and I'll do the astrology after. I'm using the Radiant Rider-Waite deck and I have allowed for reversals. And of course you know this is for Saturday, March 1st. Venus is going retrograde this afternoon, so we have to talk about that in a minute. Plus, my goodness, we're into the Mercury retrograde, like pre-shadow window. And I'll explain what that is in a minute. In a bit. Or maybe it doesn't even really matter to you guys. We'll talk about Mercury retrograde and as the days go by. But Venus retrograde for sure today. Because that's the most important. Okay. Lots of information coming out today. This morning, first thing, it's like talkative mind, or you want to talk to people, restless mind, restless leg syndrome maybe. If you have a young person around and they do that thing, it's like, don't do that. Stop, relax, ground. You know, I've learned that it's always, it's taken me years to learn this, but I've learned that life is always a power management issue. Either we have too much power when we're younger and we can't figure out how to control all that energy or how to use it best, or we're older and we want that energy back. Oh, right there. Ooh. Ooh. Wow. Okay. So no reversals today, and I did allow. So that's something to know. Our theme for the day is being seen and heard and recognized. Whether or not somebody else does, you do it for yourself. You got to give this to yourself. This is our card for giving yourself a pat on the back. It's our card for allowing ourselves to have those small little victories every day, and maybe it's a big victory today for you, for something. It's a card of self-confidence and making good progress, and you can see that because it's Jupiter, which expands, and then in Leo, that's usually a lot of self-confidence. Or if it's not, it's expanding your heart. But, I mean, I like the side eye with the horse that's kind of like, hey, man, look at me. Let's be like the horse. Oh, now, on a very practical level, this could be, with these three cards, with this combo, it could be surrendering all day to some younger people who have a lot to say, and it's good to listen to them because it does bring through some breakthrough. We always have to remember, the younger generation is our future. Our children are our Earth's future, so we have to proceed wisely with them, no matter how frustrating it can be, especially when they talk a lot. But it's better that way. I would much rather have a kid who talks a lot than the ones that, you're like, come on, what are you feeling? What's going on? But they get frozen sometimes, Sometimes we have to encourage them to come out. So, on another level, this could be research with the Page of Swords, curiosity to research something, and then you find out what you wanted, and there's major victory. And then with the Hanged Man at night, really good to have that at night. It's okay. Be horizontal. Surrender. Maybe the victory allows you to surrender. Maybe patting yourself on the back for whatever you've gone through and what you've have accomplished, no matter, maybe it was just the laundry today. And then you surrender to, yeah, some days are like that. Okay, let's look at the astrology. So I have two charts. This is for the morning because I didn't want you to not have that. And then I have another chart for Venus retrograde, which looks just like this one, only the moon will be in a different spot. So, okay. You can see the moon's here at 1 degree of Aries. So this is definitely a get her done kind of a day, or at least, with me, I understand the Aries energy really well because my moon and ascendant are there. And it's like for me, or at least, well, maybe it's more my Cancer. I do both. To me, though, Aries is like one step forward, and then later on it's two steps back because it's so instinctual. So the moon has to do with our mood, okay? And we have this, Aries energy is about moving forward. It's about going after what you want. It's about being a little more daring and asserting your individuality. And it's, in the long run, it's all about your independence. So when we have this first thing in the morning, like 5 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Eastern time, and then adjust to your time zone accordingly. My goodness, if you're on, I have a friend in Hawaii. Hey, Nettie. Yeah, she's 2 hours before me, I think. So anyway, it's still in the middle of the night. But first thing in the morning, no matter what time you get up, the moon will be in Aries, and it will be for the next 2.5 days. So that's important to remember. So these next 2.5 days are really good for initiating something new. And because we're moving into the Mercury retrograde period, that's going to begin at 9 degrees of Aries. So that's by the time we get around to March 14th, Mercury will be at 9 degrees of Aries, and it'll retrograde back into Pisces. So we'll talk about that every day a little bit, hopefully, if I remember. But for today, the most important thing is to know that it's all about going for what you want, because Venus is here. Wait, let me look at the aspects to the moon first. So we just have, the opposition to useful, distinctive, discerning, practical, the south node of the past. It's like gathering the facts, tracking patterns, analyzing data, and getting the details. It's good for recycling. It's good for cleaning out drawers, closets, cupboards, garage, anything. Just be careful, We can't do it all in one day. Some of you can. I can't anymore. I'm not going to project that onto you. But, with Mercury and Pisces, with all this opposition to the South Node, we've got, we'll just pay attention to Mercury because the North Node's always opposing the South Node. So, yeah. But anyway, and they've left that out there. That Neptune, Mercury, and Saturn are within that realm, and Saturn's moving closer to that opposition to the past. So Pisces energy, I know I've been talking about it a lot. But it can be just so wonderful to include all the details of the past and then filter through what you want to keep and what you don't, especially if you're doing stuff around the house. And that may very well be what's going on, because with Mars and Cancer rules the home. And we do have that double trine with the Sun and Saturn. So Saturn is creating form and structure. It can be your spiritual foundation, or it can be your sanctuary, the sanctuary of your home. And every day the Sun is moving closer to Saturn by 1 degree. So within this next week, we're going to have Sun conjunct Saturn. It's already, for all intents and purposes, just pretend it's already there. And shine a spotlight on all of the pure potentiality that is possible in Pisces, because there's no limit. You have to remember that Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and it's boundless. There are no limits to the things that we can imagine, the things that we can create, the compassion that we can carry, the sensitive nature that we can get in touch with. And with Pluto and Aquarius, it's about inventing new things, and we have the sextile over to the moon. Look at that. It's a really good morning for inventing something new. Sextiles bring in opportunities, but you have to do the work. It's not, you don't just think about it. But then again, maybe you're visualizing it, because there is that connection to all this Pisces energy. And you do have to visualize something before you actually work it through, But this aspect of the architect here, it brings us back to the past. There's something from the past that we can powerfully transform and bring into something new, something brand new with the moon in Aries. This is great, actually. So that's the setup for the morning. Also, well, let's go ahead and go to, because those other aspects are still going to be there. Here we go. Okay, now, so this is this afternoon, Pacific time, 4:37 p.m., and adjust to your time zone. And again, you can see, let me go a little bit bigger there. Okay, is that good? Yeah, I always have to look up here in the viewfinder. Now you can see the moon's at 9 degrees of Aries, and it's conjunct Venus retrograde. Okay, so, you know, it's going to get really, really tight, but it already is. And so this is the evening, no matter where you are, that you're going to be thinking more about what do you really, really want. And what I want to encourage is that we don't abandon ourselves. Sometimes with Aries energy, it's so instinctual that you go towards things without consciously knowing, do I really, really want that? And that thing could be something that's not even good for you. So we have to be careful. I do like that the moon is there, but the moon can bring through, you know, it's either going to be, it depends on where this lands in your chart. You know, you need to figure out where, well, you don't need to, but I mean, if you want to. Astrology is not necessary, you know, it's definitely shows what's happening, but you don't have to be involved. It's going to do it for you, whether you like it or not. The planets, you know, the sun's going to shine, it's going to get dark at night, we're going to have, the birds will sing in the morning, the grass will grow, the earth will rotate, and you won't fall off of it because of this amazing universe that we are, you know, flying through at this crazy speed. So, but if you're tuned in emotionally to what you really want and you go after it, this can be a really good time. Now, Venus will be retrograde, so that when a planet goes retrograde, it's not really going backwards in time. It's just that our relationship to the planets on Earth is doing something different. So with Venus, we're in the realm of moving towards unity, but it's also, you know, that's that place where inside we don't realize we're hardwired for unity. But on Earth, we have this Saturnian kind of experience where there's duality. So if you keep going back to what brings harmony into your life, what makes you happy, what is it that, you know, like me personally, I have Venus in my 4th house. It's in Leo, but in my 4th house. And I no matter what kind of little place I've ever had, or sometimes bigger places, I've always I want to create beauty in my home, you know, and no matter how it looks or no matter how much money I have, I just like have to have, my son used to laugh at me, my youngest son, because he'd be doing his homework and he'd be doing what he's supposed to do. And I needed to do my stuff that I'm supposed to do, but no, I got to clean the house first and have my laundry done. You know, that's how crazy I used to be. I've mellowed out some. I'll never forget one time we were trying to get ready to go to the movies, and he's like, "Mom, the house police is not going to come while we're gone." Meaning, can't we just leave now? What my poor kids went through. But anyway, so wherever Venus lands in your chart, wherever 10 degrees of Aries lands in your chart, that's going to be the house, and maybe even 2 houses that will be affected with Venus retrograde. So retrograde, just think anything that's and when it comes to, so like, you know, revisit, reevaluate, with Venus, I'm thinking reunite. So this could be relationship reunions. This could be new ways of redoing something. And with Mars in Cancer, definitely possibly about the home or business or work. Food, diet, those are hallmarks of this, Virgo South Node and Cancer ruling food and the tummy. There's valuable, information there. We can always figure out what we can digest better. Because if we can't, if there's just one little thing, like I can't even have guacamole or whatever you call it. I love avocados. So you try to make guacamole. I can't have anything spicy in it. So I always have to make my own, because if I have any bit of that little bit of jalapeno or whatever other things, it makes my stomach freeze up and I don't digest it. So then everything you ate just sits there and you're like, ugh. Bust out the digestive enzymes, right? So things like that, like fine-tuning your food, can be hallmarks of the Mars in Cancer combined with the South Node in Virgo. And the moon, and especially with Venus going retrograde and the moon's going to cross over it and get to the other side, what we're going to be dealing with, I think, most of all, is figuring out what direction we really want to go. And we're going to have to trust our instincts quite a bit with the moon in Aries, and allow yourself to make mistakes. Cancer's energy can go, because all of the what do we call the cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. They start the seasons. Cardinal is another word for movement oriented. So Cancer energy to me goes side to side like a crab, right? And Aries energy goes forward and back, because it's ruled by Mars. Like the way we walk. Well, we can walk side to side. We can be like a duck and we can do all kinds of stuff. But when you line up Aries and Cancer energy, which is what's going on here, because the moon is going to at some point be exactly squaring Mars. Venus is already in there. Chiron has been sitting there in that square. It won't be long before I take that back, because Venus is going to go back this way. It's going to be moon square Mars. Mars is the ruler of Aries. So that moon square Mars, when that happens, let me switch it to hours. Let me get some, because it might be, let's see how long that actually takes. There's 10, we're in that 7-degree orb. Yeah, there. Okay, let's get an exact, because it's going to happen. So that's 5:30 in the morning on Sunday. Yeah, they're exact. Wait, hold on. Yeah. So 5:37 a.m. Sunday the 2nd, we're going to have moon square Mars. So you want to, because the moon has crossed over Venus retrograde by then, and we have figured out, okay, what do I want? And then where am I being maybe a little too impulsive? And then Mars is here, is going to go, hold on, you could have an argument with someone. We're talking the second decan of the signs. So we're in that frick around and find out phase, where we're learning lessons, or you're having an argument with someone. So pick your battles. Think about that, because the moon, and I'll go over this again, Sunday. Well, actually, I probably won't, because the warning needs to come before, right? I'll probably forget about it on Sunday. Sunday morning, maybe I won't, but I won't forget about this part. The moon conjunct Chiron. Now, Chiron is our deepest wounding. Now, where you have it natally, it could be in a very different sign, but right now, what's going on the planet is the opportunity to heal the place where we have habitually abandoned ourselves in order to either get approval from someone else, or not be rejected by someone else, or, it's always that. It's always love, approval, accomplishment, control. And no matter what sign the moon's in, we have to be careful with manipulation. When it is squaring Mars, there's going to be tension around who has control with Mars in Cancer and who gets what they want with the moon in Aries. Okay? So there could be battles with family members, and you're going to want to not abandon them, and you're not going to want to abandon yourself, and you're going to want to try to be less impulsive. And if you get in a fight, just do it with love if you can, because you don't have to agree. You can tell them, hey, I love you, but no, I don't agree with what you're saying, and no, I'm not going there, or no, I don't approve of that. And because, maybe they voted for Trump and you're having an argument about that. Those things happen. We all have family members who did that. And we love them. We don't, dislove them any less, but we've got problems with, because we're talking, the principles that we put our faith in. And, so there's that. Especially if you're a woman. And the child you're having an argument with is a man, right? And you're like, wait, you voted against my own health care, protective, the rights to own my own body? You can imagine. So, and Cancer has a patriotic side to it too, so you can get into that kind of dogma. There's that. It can be religious dogma. It can be patriotic dogma. But so anyway, so Chiron, to work that one, you really just have to not abandon yourself when it's Chiron in Aries. That's the real challenge. So I think I've said that 3 times, because it's about with Aries. It's always about moving towards your independence and your autonomy. So if you have any codependent relationships going on, which would be hallmarks of Cancer or Libra energy, you're going to want to, the dependency, codependency kind of thing. Some of them you can't, some of them is a total surrender because they're handicapped. When it comes to other types of dependency, like emotional dependency, yeah, that can be worked on, right? Yeah. Or with all the, if there's some negativity going on with the Pisces energy, we could be dealing with, alcohol or drug addiction. Pisces just want, Pisces is a lot like Taurus, and they want bliss. And we do have this, so if you've got a forcing current for bliss, you have to be careful, right? But if you have, looking at the sextile here from, Mercury should be connected, but they're connecting it here mostly with the approaching energy. So this is Saturn to Uranus. So Saturn can be the hard lessons, and Uranus in Taurus can be like in the body, because we're going after something, maybe trying to enlighten ourselves with, I don't know, some kind of drug journey or something like that. It's like, it's a waste of time. Just meditate. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have any judgment around it if it's not an addiction. But we do have to be careful with addictions. That's just the way it is, and that's part and parcel of the big lesson with the Piscean energy right now. But notice we have another aspect of the architect going back to the South Node. This time it's connecting to Uranus and then up into Saturn. So again, Saturn in Pisces is going to be, Saturn will always be the lessons where we're trying to master something in our lives. So wherever 20 degrees of Pisces is in your chart, whatever house that lands in, or the house that it's transiting in too, you will be working that. You'll be working those muscles. And they are to open up to the all, open up to the love, the sensitivity, without being all over the place. And the challenge with Piscean energy can be to be gaslit and be victimized. and not take self-responsibility and not stand up for yourself because, I don't know, maybe they pay your bills or something. And like, okay, you got to work through that one. And herein comes all that Aries energy. You know, it won't be long before the Sun, Mercury is in Aries. And, and I want to thank somebody that posted that it's March 30th, I think, that Neptune moves into Aries. But that's the thing is, it's there for just a little while, and then it retrogrades back into Neptune, into Pisces. So we'll have a little bit for some time. And I'll talk about that later. It's ridiculous to add too much into this one. But anyway, suffice to say that all of this Piscean energy will certainly, except for the North Node, it's going to stay there, and because it's the nodes go backwards, right? They go clockwise. All the planets go counterclockwise because we're looking at it like the mirror image of us on the planet. But anyway, Mercury, Saturn, and the Sun, and over the months, Saturn will take longer. But all these other series, we're all going to be in Aries. And so what we're doing now, and I'll say this and then close it up, what we're doing now is we are completing. Now, Pisces isn't the end because it's also the beginning. But when we get into Aries territory, we're moving forward. So we want to spiritually do the deepest work that we possibly can, so that when we move forward, we're coming from a place of who we truly are, and we're not allowing ourselves to be victimized. We're not being gaslit anymore, but we're also going to take self-responsibility and not be all over the place with our energy, with our intentions. We're not going to avoid the hard work that needs to be done. And that would be the true enlightenment in the body. So, okay, that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. As always, take good care. Bye.